Alright, it's April 22nd, 2021. Right now, as I speak, there is talk about another short squeeze attempt at silver. We had one a couple months ago, and it came very close to wiping out the COMEX Commodities Exchange silver supply, which is what backs silver ETFs. And there's talk about everybody buying silver on May 1st. In only 10 more days left. Now, obviously, if you were to buy 1 or 10 ounce silver bars, there's a huge number of middlemen before that ounce of silver or 10 ounces of silver arrives in your hands. COMEX mostly deals with 1,000-ounce silver bars, so it's unlikely that the Reddit people will have enough to buy. Well, with stimulus and unemployment, months and months of that, maybe, who knows. But it's gotten people really worried that if COMEX runs into trouble, if we'll have some sort of confiscation. Yes and no. I think we will have a kind of confiscation, not the kind that you're probably thinking of. I think what's likely to happen is changes in the tax rules that will entice people to sell their silver. Now, why is that? A lot of people don't realize this, but silver is taxed quite a bit differently than stocks or ETFs of anything other than physical metals. So the tax code has special treatments for collectibles, which can include artwork, rugs, antiques, gems, stamps, metals, coins, and alcoholic beverages. For the metals, I wonder if they include other non-traditional metals. I like copper. And lately, I've been trying to amass some physical rare earth metals. Obviously, pay a huge premium for them, but I like having different metals that I can hold. Now, here's the thing: what is the tax rate? So, when you sell collectibles, the special long-term capital gains, right? They 0, 15, 20. They don't hold anymore. Instead, you owe tax at your ordinary tax rate with a cap of 28%. Having said that, I'm not terribly worried about that tax rate. Here's why. If you listen to any dollar cost averaging strategy, you're going to have silver that let's say you've been doing it for 20 years now. You're going to have some silver that you bought for $3, $4. You're going to have some that you bought for 50, right? And eventually you'll want to sell it, right? You're actually allowed to choose which units of silver you sell first, right? If you need a big tax write-off, even though you might be ahead, you can sell the silver you bought at $50. I hope to do that at some point, right? At some point, I'll probably cash out some winning investments, and I'll probably sell the silver that I bought at $50 to neutralize some of those gains, and then wait 30 days and then buy back the silver, right? You got to wait 30 days for that wash sale rule, presumably. But even though I'm up in silver, I could still write off a considerable amount. I haven't done the math yet, but for my very large purchases of silver, I make sure to keep detailed receipts for stuff like this. And eventually I'm going to have a year where my income could be better, right? And I could sell some of the silver that I bought at the beginning of the pandemic when it was $12, $13. I could sell, in theory, I could buy it right back from the same the same buyer that I sold it to, right? Because there's no wash sale rule if you take a gain, right? I wonder how that would look like. I would just go to the coin dealer, hey, can I sell and rebuy this, right? I'll give you something for a transaction fee or something like that. And then I could just take that gain right away. In theory, I'm not sure how the IRS takes a view of that, but in theory, something like that could go down, right? Okay. But getting back to how silver could potentially be confiscated, I suspect they will cut the tax rate when you go to sell silver and bribe the people to resell their silver. Now, I wouldn't take that bribe, though, for the reasons I just mentioned. I'm not terribly concerned about the tax rate. And plus, if you leave silver in your estate, none of this applies, right? You'll just have an estate tax, which would be nothing for somebody like me, the value of the silver would be stepped up to the day whenever you die. Hopefully, you don't die on a day where silver it hits like a bottom. You don't die like on day one of COVID when silver was $12 an ounce, right? That would leave a mess for your heirs, right? I think I'll leave a lot of my silver behind, so I'm not terribly worried about that too. And even the silver that I plan to use when I'm living, I think I can make good use of the gains and losses. I've done a few hypotheticals going back in history. I think the tax rate will eventually have to drop anyway, right? Because silver will be used as a currency. And if not, I have ways to live around that too. But I'm guessing that if a silver shortage becomes a possibility, the tax rates will have to go down. But I think it will entice a lot of people to sell, and I'm looking to buy off of those people. So I'm excited about that too.